What's up? What's up? What is up? What's up? Make sure you can hear me, folks. Big Chads. Big Chads. Big Chads sending love from me to you. It's Tuesday night, January 4th, 2022. I want to say a thank you. I want to say a happy days and heartfelt wishes. I hope you had a great time. I hope you had a great New Year's. Life isn't always easy. Life isn't always easy, and hopefully next year for you, this year is easier. Hopefully you have great opportunities. Hopefully you can capitalize on some of the good energy in your life, and definitely just wishing you well. So thanks for coming tonight. This is a kind of an impromptu show. I don't really have a ton of thoughts, really what I want to say. I have a few things that I want to go over. We'll touch base on Bitcoin quickly, and then maybe I'll see what you folks are thinking about there in the chat room. Let's get started out. I want to remind you, I'm on Twitter at Big Cheds. I like to think of my feed as academic observations about the price, trading psychology, that type of thing. I'm the author of Trading Wisdom, 50 Lessons Every Trader Should Know. You can find it on Amazon right now. It has great reviews, so thank you for that. And it's got 4 formats. I just published the audiobook recently. You can check that out. If you can't afford the book, I'm doing it for free on my YouTube channel at Ched's Trading. Please consider hitting like, and please consider hitting subscribe. And if you go to the playlist and click on that playlist, it's really important. You have a lot of options there. Check out the emergency streams. That's what this will go under. They're kind of variety show. But really, you want to check out the tutorials, the educational live streams. That will help you get started trading. And as I mentioned earlier, the book. I have a free version of the book. I'm doing one lesson at a time. Eventually, I'll get all 50 lessons out. If you go to the Crypto Banter YouTube, they have a playlist, Trading Wisdom. I have a show there. I've got 13 great episodes so far. I'd want to encourage you to check that out as well. And if you're serious about learning how to trade, I'm part of a wonderful team at Bitcoin.live, the best-in-class educational platform for crypto. I do twice a week long form, in-depth market updates, and I will not miss an update. So consider joining that. So really, Bitcoin, what's going on? I don't want to talk too much about it because it's still developing, and I'm preparing myself for tomorrow night's report. But I want to talk about a couple things. So let's talk about and by the way, folks, let me just check in with the chat room. I want to say hi to you. Just as a reminder, there's a ton of messages, and I usually read the messages after I do the show. Some great feedback. Sometimes there's some criticism. Like, that's fine. If everyone agrees with you, you're doing something wrong. So, like, I'm okay with that. If people don't like me, and if they want to say that's cool. That's how life works. But most of you are really positive. So thank you for that. And I'll probably miss your chat room messages and your questions. They're all great questions. Which is why I try to often recommend you go to my YouTube, right? If you remembered nothing, go to my YouTube and go to the educational live streams. So that kind of answers a lot of your questions. All right. Here we go, boys. Okay, Vincent, what's going on? Everyone else in the chat room, a lot of love. So it's good to see you there. All right, good to see everybody. Happy New Year, everyone, of course. I turned in my sound. Everyone loves that intro song, by the way. That's Church of Eight Wheels. So like Bitcoin, right? So there's a debate going around, right? There's a debate. Who's tired, right? And let me know in the chat room, guys and girls and gals, right? Guys and gals, everybody. Who's tired here? The bulls or the bears, right? This whole narrative, the whole idea, like bears are tired. I'm looking at this chart and I'm scratching my head trying to figure out the basis of that theory. Okay. When you have a trend, right now we are in, you have obviously a long-term primary uptrend in Bitcoin. And that's, you can pull up a weekly chart, a monthly chart, more so a month or even yearly chart. I mean, that's the trend. But you have a corrective trend. We're in a secondary trend. It's a bears have the trend. Bears have the edge right now. There's no doubt about it. And we know why that happened. I went over all the warnings at the top. I live tweeted them. Many of you also saw it. So kudos to you to paying attention. So we saw the top coming, no real surprise. And its price is corrected, and that's fine. And the whole thing is like on larger time frames, you're always, It's just a question of how deep is the cut? How deep is the consolidation? And that's why you watch these moving averages, and now we have the MA50, which we're kind of threatening to lose, which would be kind of a major blow. So we're in a downtrend, a temporary downtrend. It's a secondary. So the secondary trend is bearish. It's bearish right now, right? So you watch for counter trend volume. Where are the bulls? When I hear, oh, bulls are tired, there's no volume, that's a problem for bulls, not a problem for bears. Okay. When the price is trending, it's trending because there there is an imbalance in the supply and the demand, and you move in a certain direction. And that's why you have heavy volume at key levels when you have that equilibrium and the balancing out of supply and demand. The price is trending, you don't need volume. So bulls need counter trend volume. So the idea that bears are tired, it's like not even the right spot to look for bears to be tired. Bulls have to do something. Bulls have to turn things around. And we just had the lowest daily candle close in 96 days. We just had the lowest daily candle close since September 30th. All right. Does this mean we're going to 40K or 30K? I mean, I don't know. I don't quite know. I kind of try to take it one step at a time, but like it's narratives. I despise narratives. And the idea that bears are tired, what does that even mean? Like bears don't have to do anything. Like bears have the football. Like bulls have to try to get it back. Like bulls need a turnover. You know how in a football game when a team like needs a turnover at a certain time, like that's bulls right now. And it can totally happen. All right? So here's one potential setup for that, right? Here's a pretty good segue. Here's a potential setup for that. We have the Eve and Eve double bottom. All right. It's essentially a double rounded bottom. And, I talked a lot in my prior videos. I talked a lot in my prior videos about like how to play certain patterns like head and shoulders. And I'm just like unbelievably well documented talking about how to play this, right? And the failed head and shoulders and how you went short and the failure of the shoulder, right? And waiting for confirmation. Like any pattern, you got to know trigger level, right? Or invalidation level. So you really have what's called, when you have these formations, you need to understand a few things. All right. You look at them, you say, okay, where's the peak? Oh, here's the peak. Right, here's the peak, and it's an ideal peak because it's a well-defined horizontal level. So that's check mark. That's good, clean signal and nice classical charting. And then you have troughs or the bottoms. Here's one, and here's two. So what you're kind of looking for this any kind of double bottom, first of all, you need something called time interval. All right, you need time interval. You need a delay, a period in time in between those bottoming attempts, because that adds significance to that. It makes them not one data point, but two. If you have that time interval, it shows that it's after another consolidation attempt, after another washout of the bulls and the bears, another battle, another kind of, another range break, all that. So you get that time interval, right? You have the time interval and you have the price distance between the peaks and the troughs. This is like if it continues on, you say, oh, super classic, but what do you do? Most of the time, the answer in these situations is you do nothing, right? Because most of the time you don't have a good signal in trading, right? Everyone's itching to trade, but the reality is most of the time there's no good signal. Most of the time you're working with incomplete information. So what do? You wait for either confirmation or invalidation, right? Invalidation would be a breaking below of these lows, 45, 46. That'd be a bear sign. You would go short on that. And what's nice about that is you'd be initiating a short based on a clean horizontal level. What that allows you is a very close invalidation point. If say you went short here, the price bounces up, you just get out. Like there's no, oh, I'm stuck in a trade. And it'd be the same thing in reverse. If you just hit it like that, right? And it was attempted double top, a double eve in the reverse direction, you go long in the break above and you have a close by invalidation point. That's the same technique. You really got to understand that, right? And apply that in your trading. So you wait for it either to invalidate or complete. If it completes, you take the measured move, you take the height from the troughs to the peaks. That would get us like 58K. So that's like a bull thesis, right? But like momentum wise, like bears have the football, right? Bears have the football. We're looking to close below the weekly 50. Bulls need to come up with a turnover, right? Lowest daily close in 96 days, right? So, who's tired? Okay. Who's tired are the people who are trying to reverse the trend, and that's bulls. And the bulls have been unable to reverse the trend. Maybe they will. We'll wait and see. We're ready. we're kind of ready for any scenario. That's what we do. We're good students of technical analysis, right? So I just kind of gave you a little flavor, a little taste of that. What's up? Hey, this guy says hi, everyone. Let's say hi right back. How you doing? Let's see. This analogy is God tier. Yeah, it's fun. You got to find ways to make analogies to relate them to other people and to yourself, and you'll find. I find it helps me to do that. I don't really. I think the stochastics RSI. I'm not a fan of it. It's even less reliable for divergence than the regular RSI. Because it's bounded. It has a fixed limit. I really I don't recommend using it for divergence one bit because it's bounded. It tops off or bottoms off very early in a move. It's just not what you want to do. I do not recommend doing that. All right, let's check on here. Bulls on parade. Yeah, that'd be great. I love it when it's bullish because it's easy to tweet. People like you. Everything's happy. What's up, Chad? It's good to see you. Helix Theory. And see if there's any interesting questions in the chat room. We'll go from there. So yeah, CRV. Let's talk about that one. That one's been kind of popular lately. So why not? So what are we doing? So daily chart means clearly it's bullish, right? It's a bullish chart. And bull moves need to consolidate. So if you're everything, what you need to, or here's how you need to orient your thinking is when you kind of look at this action, you need to look and see, okay, it's in the context of that prior high. Like everything, oops. When you look at this high, right, this cluster here in CRV, when you're looking at this candle grouping, you need to think, okay, that's in the proximity of this candle grouping, right? So it's a resistance area, it's a supply area, and it's still kind of working through that, right? And you have the outside bar here, right, on January 3rd, right, which is kind of a potentially momentum slowing candle, but it's not a strong signal because you closed near the top of the outside bar, so that also gives you some continuation. But it's definitely a candle that says, hey, look closer. And then we got the follow through today, the dark cloud cover with the tweezer top, the candle wicks in the same range, and closing below the midpoint of the green candle. These are all kind of short-term momentum pausing, signals. And with a chart like this, you basically you want to buy a dip wherever you can get a good clean dip, whether it be kind of off that level or maybe get that MA50. You pick a level and you kind of use that as your thesis in terms of your entry, right? You don't want to just buy and then hold if it drifted lower. You'd want to kind of pick a level and say, that's where I'm going to go. Maybe it's here because that was the prior low. But you pick something, you give yourself a reasonable level. Like you want to buy a dip in a chart like this. Everything's rising, all the moving averages are rising. And it's just kind of a good general example of relative strength and the idea that you want to play relative strength. You want to play strong charts. All right. I'm getting probably kind of tired. I really just wanted to do that little bit on Bitcoin. So I apologize. It's going to be a short show tonight. I'm a little bit tired. I really just wanted to give you that perspective on Bitcoin. Maybe I'll do one of these later in the week, but I do have to rest tonight. I got another Bitcoin Live report tomorrow. As a reminder, you can check out Bitcoin Live. I'm a founding analyst there. I do believe Heartfeltly is the best in class educational platform for crypto. We have a great team. The book is available on Amazon for formats. Check out all my free stuff on YouTube. I got a lot of great stuff. I have the free book, live streams, great interviews. Check out the work I do in the crypto banter team with the Trading Wisdom playlist as well. And and of course I'm on Twitter at Big Cheds. It's kind of a short stream tonight, but I really just want to say hi. If you're having trouble right now, it's because it's a choppy market, right? And it's hard to trade a choppy market. It's really hard to trade when you have a sideways market. And even, it's sideways with that downward edge, right? But you get these little bounces, and it's easy to get excited on these little bounces. And the best way to play this type of market is to wait for a clean break. Wait a little bit longer, wait for confirmation. And that way you avoid kind of stubbing your toe. Like if you're constantly jumping in and getting out, you're doing that because you're itching for action, not because there's a good kind of setup on the chart. So you got to be more disciplined. You got to be more disciplined, more patient, bet less, so you can have more practice and kind of wait for some clear confirmation. I kind of gave you an example of that I'll just show you one more time before we go. Still have it up. On the Bitcoin chart, basically, I showed you on the Bitcoin chart where you basically either are going to wait for a break of the bottom of the range, right? Or you wait for a break of the top of the range. I mean, it's not rocket science. If you're going to trade, it doesn't even matter if you call this an Adam and Eve, an Eve and Adam, even an Adam and Steve. I saw someone say, which is pretty funny. Just wait. Like if you trade in the middle of this range, you're a better trader than me, because it's choppy and it's dangerous. So basically, be careful. That's kind of where I'm coming from. That's why I wanted to do this video tonight. And that's why we are going to get this party started right now.